Hey, everybody. So excited today to be able to have another 5 in 5. Really honored to have Brandon Cederblom, Life 360 Church, Chesterfield youth pastor with us today. Brandon has one wife, 2 girls. Excited that he is able to be with us today. And he is obviously a valued friend of mine. I respect him so much. He's also on the Youth Alive team in Missouri. We have a great team in Missouri, and Brandon is a vital part of that team, and honored that he has taken the time out today to share with us his 5 in 5. And without further ado, you're not here to listen to me. You're here to garner wisdom and gain wisdom from Brandon today. So listen in, lean in. And if you miss something, everything's going to be in the details below on YouTube. So make sure and like and subscribe. All of the points that Brandon's talking about today, as well as the social media links, so you can reach out to Brandon and maybe ask him some questions more directly. I'm excited to have Brandon with us today. Brandon, here we go. 5 in 5.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about student leadership, and student leadership is something. It's a hot topic right now. Every youth pastor would say yes, this is important, and probably even say yes, I do it. But if you really dig into student leadership, it is probably the biggest game changer for your youth group. Your students are such an awesome pool of leaders. And not just being on teams with a youth leader over it. That's awesome. Like if you have, I'm gonna get into 5 areas where I think students can lead in just a second. And you can have a youth leader over it with students under them, and that's great because there's discipleship and there's learning. But you can have a student be at the top.
Yeah.
Like they can be in charge of the area completely, and many times they will be more driven, more excited, more eager, more creative, and like they'll do a better job sometimes than like an adult leader would. And so I'm just gonna dig into it. First one is welcome team. I know many times we want leaders, there for like new students that are coming in and stuff, and it's the go-to to have like some adult leaders there that are smiling and excited. Get a group of students that are outgoing, that you think would do a good job, and just empower them. And then step back, like tell them, like, get a group of 4 of them and say, hey, this is so important. You will be the first face. Most people, it's just within the first few seconds that they form an opinion. And so, man,
So true.
Love them, get excited. You guys create a schedule. Let me know the schedule, but I need 2 of you at the doors every week, and just let them go with it, like just let them go for it. Second one is worship and tech team. This is like almost the bane of every youth pastor, the worship team, especially for smaller churches. It can be difficult. Get some students and just really put it all on them. Say, hey, we want to have a student-led worship team. Can you guys take this on? Maybe empower one of them to be in charge and set the practices and the schedules. And again, if you have a youth leader that can help out, that's great, like an adult youth leader, but students can do it. I've had a completely student-led worship team where I did nothing. No adult leader was a part of it. It was all students. And they absolutely, they take such ownership and they get so excited about it. The same thing with the tech team. You can have a student back there, and students, they get tech better than us. Like it's more intuitive. You sit there for an hour trying to train an adult, and a student already knows it. So like, just like get students in on that. 3 is a social media team. And this is such a big one because I'm going to be honest, our social media across the board as churches is not that great. We struggle because we don't get social media like they do. They are so good at it. It's so intuitive. It is literally, I as a youth pastor do not have even, and this is horrible, I know, but like a Facebook and an Instagram, I'm not good at social media, but I have students that just absolutely love it. And when you approach them and say, hey, I want you to be in charge of the youth group social media, the Instagram, like, and I want you to like blow that thing up and make it look awesome. You can give them the content. Like, I want you to say this, but then they make it look good. And they just excel at that. They love it. A preaching team is number 4. And you can go as little as just getting them together once a year and going over like, hey, what do we want the preaching calendar to look like? And you'll probably find that what they think is important for their group to hear is maybe a little bit different than what you think. And so find somewhere in the middle. But you can also take it to the next level, and you can have students that are preaching on a regular basis where you're getting together. They're not just giving input onto what you preach, but they're actually up there on stage preaching, and treat them right. Like if you have a guest speaker come in, you intro them and everyone claps them and stuff. Do that with you create a culture where like when you have students
Yeah,
preaching, you do
it's
that, you
good.
take them out to eat afterwards, like I mean like just it does something. It changes
Yeah,
things, and all of those aspects are all students. Like I've had at points in my youth group where literally everything on a Wednesday night was student ran. And there was never a youth leader
wow.
on the stage, like, the person doing the welcome and then game and then offering announcements, the whole worship team, and then the preacher was all students and never, and like, it so changes things when you got like a core group that are so bought in because literally they're running the show. It's awesome. And you say like, I don't have enough adult leaders. You really don't need them. You need adult leaders, but you know what I'm saying? But like, you can empower students to do it. And the fifth one that
Yeah,
to me is so important is club leaders, school
yeah,
club leaders. This is something that I want every one of my students to be a club leader because it changes things. It's like they're their own little youth pastor because they've
yeah.
got a group of people that
Good.
they're having to make a game for, a little Devo. They're trying to plan events. They're like, they're feeling the stress when only 5 people show up and they were hoping for 10. Like but like it is so awesome to watch how a student changes when they
Yeah.
decide they're going to be in charge of a P7 club, a Youth Alive club, an FCA club. Like it's awesome. So, and just across the board, like I whether they're middle schoolers or high schoolers, I would go for it.
Yeah.
And so I love student leadership.
Man, thanks, Brandon, for your time today and sharing with us your 5 in 5. Excited to get responses, and make sure like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. There's much, much more to come. Don't miss out on 5 in 5. We'll see you next time.